Better to detonate that mine safely than trip over it myself.
There must be a way to spring this trap safely.
Better to detonate that mine safely than trip over it myself.
What can I cook up today?
In the days of old, the sorcerers of Rivellon cured the sick and healed the wounded through a great power called Source. But a terrible darkness invaded the land, and Source was forever tainted. All that stand between Rivellon and the dark power that threatens to destroy it. Wherever Source appears, hunters follow.
Rise and shine, Master Source Hunters. The captain wants you up on deck. Hear them calls? Means we're close to shore. I don't envy you going there, Master Source Hunters. City's full of undead, hungry enough for blood. But you're supposed to investigate that murder, ain't you? They say it's Source that did the Counselor in. Source in a city like Cysteel, nowhere safe anymore. Here they are, Captain Sir.
God's blessings on you, hunters. You'll be happy to hear we've reached Cysteel. But there's trouble offshore, so we'll have to sail in carefully. Here, have a look. Those are orc ships, and they're blocking our passage. We'll get you as close to the city as we can, and drop you off on the beach. Be wary now. Orcs are on the attack. Undead have closed every route out, and there's a sorcerer on the loose. If we're to get justice for the Counselor, you'll have to keep your wits about you. May the luck of the gods be with you both, Source Hunters.
If I didn't know there were orc ships raiding to the west, I'd mistake this for a placid beach.
At least the orcs make a bit of noise when they attack. It's dark-dealing sorcerers that'll strike with neither warning nor mercy.
Is that a corpse? What's it doing here alone?
What? Did you expect it to have an entourage? This. The man jumped off a cliff at the behest of some statues, of all things. Rivellon is no stranger to the supernatural. He might well have flown into the sunset and looked down at us cynics, laughing.
How did they find us?
Take the stone to the temple. These whelps will be easy to crush.
As you say, Madam Consulate.
Arise, fair dead! Seize upon our enemies!
No glory in this death.
Come, spin your web for me. May your arrows fly far!
Their leader said something about escaping with a stone.
Stolen from this dungeon, I imagine. Can we get inside? Those thieves were more than petty criminals. Their leader gave life to the dead. What stone could they have been so keen on taking? Indeed. For all we know, these dark-dealing thieves may be involved with Councillor Jake's murder.
You're as pretty as a starstone. I may not be able to see past your ankles, but I'm sure of it.
You're like a gorilla in a porcelain store.
Careful. There's a mine in the middle of our path.
Someone must have an interest in protecting whatever's kept here.
You're like a gorilla in a porcelain store.
I've always heard there's typically more to a king's tomb than meets the eye.
It could be a myth, or it could be our lucky day.
I've spotted something interesting. Made short work of that door, but I don't imagine our weapons would survive such use for long.
You're like a gorilla in a porcelain store. You're like a gorilla in a porcelain store.
Hold. Our enemies have laid a trap. Well, what's this I've spotted? spotted something. Spotted something. Downstairs.
The last thing we need is to surprise another angry summoner.
Something isn't right here. It could be an ambush.
Accelerated action!
To meet your acquaintance. We rats may be small, but that makes it all the easier to keep our ears to the ground. Friendly-wise, I'd say we rodents are the best friends an adventurer can make.
A living rat dares disturb the slumber of the dead? A thieving fool insults the sanctity of the grave. The bloodstone defiler, where is it? In life, I toil to care for these holy grounds. In death, I protect them from profaners and poachers. The legacy of Cecile is mine to preserve. Her traitors are mine to destroy. I suppose you only crept among these sacred tombs for leisure. I suppose you had no lust for the treasure of the dead. Ha! Strange indeed. Robed indeed. Your tricks will not save you from retribution, deceiver. The bloodstone, deliver it now, and I may deign to end you quickly. Run if you like, defiler. Whichever way you take leads you to the grave.
Quick-tempered and fleet-footed.
Will never cease flowing.
Death never dies, fool. Death in 1,000 forms rules all.
Report, Scout! Seven have mercy on your soul.
Meet your demise!
Here lies Master Ragequin's first apprentice, killed by a falling corpse. Here lies Master Ragequin's second apprentice, killed by dying.
This seems to be broken.
Look! A wanderer comes my way, walking the sands upon which this poor shell must suffer. Call me Ishmael, son of the sea, an outcast upon these wretched shores. An exiled shell, doomed to live under a canopy of arid sky, not his native, tender water. My fate is a cruel one, I assure you. How many snot-noses have held me up against their dirty little ears, only to claim they can hear the ocean? Of course they can hear her, the brats. We are on the very edge of the great aquatic mother, whose embrace I so desperately long for. Of course I can talk, don't be silly. There's more tongue to me than heart. Indeed, the surprise should be mine, for I still remember the days when your kind swung from branches and plucked the vermin out of their neighbor's fur. Time is an indulgent mistress to one who spends happy hours as she passes. But when your existence is one of misery, she becomes a lethargic hobby. Oh, I remember ancient times, for I have lain here since antiquity, when the ruins around us were palaces, and the sun-bleached dead merry children. All this I have seen, alive, oh no, alas. Yes, I, King of Pearls, ache to repose anew on his coral throne. Hurl me toward the water, swing me as far as your arm's strength gives lease, and treasure long sunk I will grant thee. What do you say, kind knight? Will you return the King of Pearls to the sea, so he may yield you long lost treasure?
And pass up the opportunity of simply taking him and selling his valuable pearl? I think not. Who says he'll make good on his promise? This pearl is a sure thing. His words, however, are not.
Very well, have it your way.
Blackguard, most vile! You would rob me of freedom and pearl? May the sea fill thy lungs with salt.
By one of them smooth-talking...
Hold it right there, orc scum! No one slips past the Legion unchallenged.
Calm down, Junius. Doesn't look like one of them orcs to me. Not a single horde in sight, you know.
Just hold your tongue, will you, Bibius? Can't be too careful. We are sworn to protect Scythiel. We're legionnaires, of course. On the lookout for orcs, for they've been attacking from the sea. God knows why they do it, but we stand firm. We of the Legion, liberators of Rivellon.
Liberators of liquor too, aren't we, old chum?
Shh! Just pipe down, will you, Bibius?
Ever cat the watch? Stood on the lookout for hours on end, bored stiff. Boredom's a demon, buddy, and booze is the demon hunter. There. I do declare it's time for this hunter to take another shot. Huzzah!
Aye, a noble word for watchdog, that, for that is what we do. Watch over the local dogs that ever so often aim for one another's throat, and separate them to keep the peace. Separate by the sword, that is.
Best way to calm a wily dog is to neuter it. Ha! Spay for pay. Legion's motto.
Just put a sock in it, will you, Bibius?
What do you want to know? So, it's Jake you're looking for. Ship sailed on that one, I'm afraid. Fellow's dead. Murdered.
Can't tell you much more, except that I heard he was found face down in a puddle of blood, being used as a water fountain by his own pet mongrel.
They say 'twas his wife that did it, and I'd bet a bottle of brandy they're right. A devilish flirt, that one.
As if that proves anything. Just keep your trap shut, will you, Bibius?
Scythiel, yes. Where fishermen come to live and street dogs come to die. Now, which of the two would you be, then?
Just cut the cackle, will you, Bibius? Now then, stranger, if it's the city of Scythiel you're looking for, you're heading in the right direction. Even though most folks are trying to escape rather than reach the damn place these days. Not that I could blame them. This place is cursed, I tell you. First the dead rise from their graves, and then entire tribes of orcs sound the trumpets of war. You take to the rifle, lass. Bunch of barbaric bastards, a lot of them. They'll kill your spouse and eat your children. We've been putting up a fight against them, to be sure, but they have the strength of an ox in every single one of their fingers. Takes an army to dress down a dozen.
Well, we did bring a legion.
Just bite your lip, will you, Bibias? Hold on, not so quickly. You may not be an orc, but that doesn't mean I trust some outlander wandering the beach. Who's to say you're not a spy? Come, I'm taking you to the wizard. He'll squeeze the truth out of you, one way or another.
Are you mad? You'd kill legionnaires? Let's just go to the wizard peacefully.
All right, we'll do it your way.
See, Junius? He means no harm. Come along. We're not far from the city. Come, let's have another drink while we still can. To your very good health.
And yours, Bibias. Here goes. Oh. Goes down as smooth as birdie needles. And I'll be damned if it doesn't get you more hammered, Ferdinand.
Better to be dead drunk than blind dead, what you? Hey.
What the hell's happening down there? Orcs! Bloody orcs! Come, let's go back to the bridge. Let the source hunters handle their big brutes.
as a fox!
No glory in this death.
Did you see that? Those orcs had a human commander.
How very curious. And how very disquieting.
Where are Bibius and Junius? Didn't they hear the fight?
Filthy beasts, I'll kill the last one of you. I like you much better. Stop on the floor.
What's all this ruckus? Sounded worse than a dozen tomcats fighting over the world's last mackerel. but I see we've suffered another orc landing. And judging by the relative ease with which it was dispatched, I can only come to one conclusion. Source hunters have arrived in Sicil. You're as welcome as a glass of cooled milk on a hot day, my friend. I'm Ahu, at your service. It was I who requested your presence in this troubled city. So you were, and so you weren't. Behold! There we are. Meet my other half, Hunter. Ha ha! No need to look so flabbergasted. I may be a wizard rife with tricks and guile, but I assure you my plea is an earnest one. So, now that the cat is out of the bag, let us turn to the matter of Councillor Jake's murder. It's hard to put my finger on it, but I can feel in my very whiskers that sorcery was at play. Visit the scene of the crime, and I'd bet sardines for salad you'll say the same. Captain Aureus, though, the local commander of the Legion, insists I'm seeing ghosts. I insist he's blind to all but the undead. So there are, or rather, there is. Popular opinion has it his wife did the deed, but to be frank, I have my doubts. She seems a likely candidate, to be sure, but that would make her a sorceress. Esmeralda knows how to charm, yes, but I just don't see her magic extend beyond a frolicsome look and wink. Still, don't simply take my word for it, Hunter. It may be well worth your while to cross-examine her yourself. The Legion has her under guard in her shop near the town square. That's where you'll find poor Jake's widow. Jake was murdered in a downstairs room of the King Crab Inn, up in Sicil proper. The Legion keeps it under lock and key, though, so you'll need Aureus's permission should you want to have a peek.
Your little Orcish girlfriend here is like bringing a wolf to a hen house.
Nonsense. Listen. She's purring.
Oh, but that's not a trick. It's a blessing. Or does it surprise you that I enjoy taking a feline guise? Such magic is a gift, Hunter. To tread upon the realm of instinct. Even articulate speech, perhaps humanity's greatest asset, cannot give expression to something so inextricably innate. To be out in the night, to stalk on silent paws and hunt with only the moon as your witness. You couldn't possibly imagine the thrill. But of course it's handy to speak in more than meows, and I couldn't brew potions or make machines without opposable thumbs. This I freely admit. Let's just say I have found a way to enjoy the best of two worlds. A human, you say? Truly? But that would be like a kitten leading a wolf pack. And yet, I have heard rumors about a sect of sorts, a shadowy set of worshippers that associate even with orcs. Some say they're sorcerers, but people will say that about anyone who behaves a bit strangely nowadays. I don't quite know what to make of this news, but thank you for informing me. It'd be foolish to dismiss such a curious event out of hand. Unfortunately, that is absolutely correct. The orc siege is yet another hairball stuck in this city's already choking throat, and it shows no signs of abating. We've cordoned off the western beach where most orc activity has been reported. For the 9 lives of me, I can't seem to figure what they're doing here. There's nothing of interest along the waterfront, except for a set of caves with an unfavorable reputation. Maybe they're after some pirate's treasure, the fools. Ah, the undead. They've been clawing their way out of the ground for 2 years now, And for 2 years the stalemate between them and the living has been dragging on at a weary pace indeed. The Legion did a good job keeping them at bay, but I think it's fair to say that without my magic-infused ballistae, they'd have gotten the better of us by now. Someone is responsible for the outbreak. Necromancers are at work, but who are they and where do they hide? Alas, that searching for them is like searching for a single louse in a lion's mane. I'm glad we've met, Source Hunter, and I'm certain we have a lot more to talk about. Feel free to visit me whenever you want. I've set up a workshop in the Legion's headquarters. Once you're there, just take the stairs, but do pay a visit to Aureus first. He may bark like a beagle with its tail stuck in the door, but you won't get very far in your investigation without speaking to the de facto leader of Sicil. And with that, I bid you adieu, Hunter. Adieu and good luck. May your enemies prove to be mere mice, and you the dauntless mouser.
Sects, undead, orcs. Well, looks like we have our work cut out for us.
At least we won't be bored. How about we go see that Aureus chap Ahu mentioned?
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I, borrowed one of these fish, would you?
Borrow indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear. I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times, but what choice have I got now? If it's steal or starve, I'll choose steal. Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Sicil began. Still, that doesn't waive a man's need to eat, you know. So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
Sure, everyone needs a hand, but who are we to offer the merchant's hand without his consent? He should leave the fish be.
Sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Let's see. Carrots, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
I never would have expected the finest source hunter in the land to encourage thievery. Your judgment is the gold standard, you know.
Moving for fire. Aim straight. Aim true. Arrows by the dozens.
No, we'll do as I say.
That's the spirit! Or should I say, the soul?
Sir, did you just steal that fish?
No, I paid for it. The merchant just left, but I paid. I paid before.
You were a witness to this event now? Tell me what happened.
Solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Indeed he did not. He's a thief and should be punished. fish here landed himself in troubled waters. Don't drag us in, too.
Silver arrows. No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
No, we'll do as I say, and there's an end to it.
I can't thank you enough for your, discretion. I'll be going now.
Well, sorry to have bothered you then, sir. Carry on.
Fresh haddock. Perfect for a fry-up.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Scythial, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs, you hear? Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother. But he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town. Not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you! Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition. I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Scythial. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into dribbling hordes of their own misshapen number.